Yeah,
Hello, everyone. My name is Maria Ilieva, and I'm a special social media editor at Critical Perspectives on International Business. Today, I have the pleasure to interview Professor Christoph Dörrenbächer, who is a guest editor of the special issue Multinational Corporations and Grand Challenges, Part of the Problem, Part of the Solution. The other guest editors are Professor Mike.geppert and Professor Ödül Bozkurt. Thank you for joining me today, Professor Dörrenbächer. The first question I would like to ask you is, what is the scope and rationale of the special issue?
Okay, thank you very much, Maria, for introducing me, my co-editors, and the special issue. The background of this special issue is, that more recently we see an intensification of critique on IB in general, namely that IB has lost track. So a number of articles have been published in the years 2016, 17 that are heavily criticizing IB for turning too much to rigor, but too less to relevance. I have here a quote from Andrew Delios, who said that contemporary research in IB is outdated, staid and boring, that there is a fetishistic focus on MNC, too much quantitative methods, and that generations of scholars investigate the same well-trodden research questions. We all know entry mode, locational choice, and so on. If we look at this critique, then we see this is not a new critique, but we have, let's say, ever since the late 1990s, a very intense debate about the future of IB, where all these points have probably been made. So there is a lamento since the late 1990s. However, what I would say what has changed more recently is that, this turn to relevance that IB is trying to take is not just a larmoyant claim as in the 20 years before, but we see at least in mainstream IB some little initial impact that also the research agenda is somehow changing. And one key reference point here is, I would say, an article by Peter Buckley and others that we're seeing the future task of IB in dealing with societal grand challenges.
Thank you very much. So the next question is, what are the main potential topics which are invited for the special issue? And also, what type of papers are you looking for?
Yes, thank you, Maria, for this question. Main potential topics invited for the special issue. Let me go maybe one step back and referring back to what we say, there is a crystallization point in the debate of societal grand challenges. But what we see, a very few articles having come out from mainstream IB scholars, and also a more recent call in JIPS. But what we see is that mainstream IB, let's say, puts the question into the fore what IB actors and in particular multinational corporations can do to alleviate societal grand challenges. And while, there is nothing wrong about doing that, we think that this is not the full Monty, because while acknowledging that multinational corporations may be part of the solution, and that this is worth studying, we also think that there should be more research about understanding that multinational corporations are not just the solution for the problem of societal grand challenges, but they often are also part of the problem. And they contribute, or the business activities of multinational corporations in some cases clearly also contribute to the, let's say, very existence of societal grand challenges. And we think, even so, the critical IB scholars and on the pages of Critical Perspective on International Business in the last 15 years have produced some insight here. There is more research needs to be done here. So this more or less frames also this special issue. And we in particular invite papers that on the one hand elaborate how, why, and to what extent multinational corporations contribute to the very existence of societal grand challenges. And second, what multinational corporations actually do to alleviate societal grand challenges. I mean, there can be a long discussion about what they could do, but I think we should also take track and notice what these multinational corporations actually do it. And of course, how the one is linked to the other. So, for instance, papers that talk about the polluter pay principle here.
Thank you. So what type of papers are you looking for?
Yeah, we take a look at, or we would prefer to get submissions that refer to individual multinational corporations, or they may refer to multinational corporations from an industry, as well as maybe companies that are active in a particular region and countries. And well, in terms of the topical focus, well, we think that we may not want to restrict that to one specific societal grand challenge, but we take a rather broad approach here. So papers are welcome that refer to any specific sustainable development goal: poverty, hunger, climate change, and sufficient medical care. There are numerous topics that, let's say, these papers could focus on. They could challenge to one specific SDG, a single combination of SDGs, or maybe only a particular aspect of sustainable development goal. And what we think, and what is also in line with the overall orientation of critical perspectives on international business, we are particularly interested in papers that take a look from the perspective of less powerful stakeholders and let's say their often objectified role in grand challenges. So talking about, let's say, local stakeholders, stakeholders in developing countries, or labor as a stakeholder in a multinational corporation. We, of course, are interested in both conceptual contributions and empirical studies. Qualitative and quantitative methods are welcome, and we also welcome individual case studies that illustrate, let's say, the link between multinational corporations being part of the problem or being part of the solution for societal grand challenges.
Thank you. And last but not the least, I would like to ask you to provide a short description of the submission process and also to tell us about the deadlines.
Yeah, thank you, Maria. Well, submission process and deadlines. Submissions need to be made using the CPOIB access point to Manuscript Scholar. You see here the link to this. All papers will be subject to double-blind reviews, and they will also be reviewed in accordance with the guidelines of critical perspectives on international business. We have a tough submission deadline, Thursday, 15th December, in order to be able to keep an approximate publication deadline by the end of 2023 or early 2024. I mean, we typically use and refer to the instructions for authors that you can find on the website of Critical Perspectives on International Business. Yeah, if you have any questions about the special issue, about a topical idea, or some issue with the deadline, you're always welcome to contact us. You see here on the screen my email, but also the email of Mike and Ödül, my both co-authors. And yeah, looking forward to see your submission. We will take great care in for you having a good experience in submitting to Critical Perspectives on International Business, and to finally, hopefully, see your paper then published on the pages of Critical Perspectives on International Business. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This was a very nice conclusion for the whole presentation, and I hope that many authors will take advantage of this opportunity and will submit their work. Thank you.